How open source drives revenues for billions. Hello everyone, my name is Atanas, and in this video I will show you with numbers why even Microsoft turned to open source to make billions out of it while educating everyone for free. My previous video was on why everyone in the world uses Linux. This time we look into the facts and numbers expressed in USD. The slides I created I've shared also on LinkedIn, and you can find my profile there as well. To start with, FOSS means free and open source software. It started with Richard Stallman's Free Software Foundation in the 1980s and the GNU General Public License in 1989. Only open source means literally this, but it doesn't guarantee free usage in products for profit. The idea of companies working with open source is to build your for-profit products but release part of the software for free for everyone to use, study and modify. This many times includes partial or full permission to use it for other products for profit. We start with Red Hat, the first big company based on the open source Linux kernel. That's the company behind the Fedora Linux project. They sell enterprise Linux based server operating system with professional quality assurance and customer support. Their yearly revenue grew from 748 million in 2009 to 3.4 billion in 2018. They were acquired by IBM in 2019 for $34 billion. We continue with Google. We all know their search engine and common services like Maps, YouTube and Gmail. They all use custom Linux, officially stated by the company. However, based on the Linux kernel, they created the Android operating system, which is also an open source project. Their other services like Drive, Docs, Analytics, Cloud and so on all use Linux. To add even more, their top open source projects are Angular, Chromium, Flutter, Go and TensorFlow. They also contribute to Kubernetes, are a top Linux kernel contributor, and sponsor the Free Software Foundation and projects like OpenSSL. Practically all their services depend on tens of big open source projects. Thanks to their use, their revenue grew from 10.6 billion in 2006 to 282 billion in 2022. Apple. They officially use Linux for their data centers. However, the Mac operating system and the iOS operating system are based on FreeBSD. Thanks to recent developments, Linux 6.2 brings support for the Apple M1 Pro, Max and Ultra chips. Their top open source projects are Swift, Kubernetes and WebKit. They contribute both to the Linux kernel and FreeBSD. Thanks to all these open source and services, their revenue grew from 76 billion in 2010 to 394 billion in 2022. Facebook and Twitter. Facebook runs on Linux servers. Their top open source projects are Angular, React and React Native, PyTorch with Microsoft, and Llama. They also contribute to the Linux kernel. Their revenue grew from 1.97 billion in 2010 to 116 billion in 2022. Twitter also runs on Linux servers and open source. They have a listing of their open source projects. Their revenue grew from 28 million in 2010 to 5 billion in 2021. Tesla's Autopilot is based on real-time or RT version of the Linux kernel. They make some RT contributions, but more interestingly, they release many of their patents for free following the open source principles. Their yearly revenue grew from 2.1 billion in 2013 to 80 billion in 2022. GitHub and GitLab are both based on Git, which is FOSS by Linus Torvalds himself. GitHub was founded in 2008 and was acquired by Microsoft 10 years later for $7.5 billion. They remained independent. Their current estimated revenue is $1.7 billion per year. GitLab's yearly revenue grew from 81 million in 2019 to 424 million in 2022. Microsoft and Netflix. Believe it or not, Satya Nadella has done miracles with Microsoft in his 10 years of running the company. Their top open source projects are Azure, .NET, TypeScript, and the initially open source Atom, now succeeded by Visual Studio Code. As a corporation, Microsoft has so many services that mentioning revenues is pointless. The Netflix servers are based on FreeBSD, but they also use many Linux and GNU tools, as the three are forever interconnected. Their yearly revenue grew from 1.67 billion in 2010 to 31.6 billion in 2023. Amazon and AWS. The last of the super big names is Amazon, along with the Amazon Web Services or AWS. They use Linux for their servers and hundreds of other open source frameworks and tools. While the other companies have been firm open source contributors for over a decade, Amazon did not contribute until a few years ago. They started to change their attitude in 2022 and now even have an official open source portal. The AWS revenue grew from 4 billion in 2014 to 80 billion in 2022. The whole Amazon revenue grew from 2.76 billion in the year 2000 to 513 billion in 2022. Keep in mind, each time you use the Amazon store, you use Linux and open source tools. The last in our list are Docker and Automatic. Docker was initially developed on and for Linux, and Apple and Microsoft quickly understood this was a great technology. As a result, we have now a $1 billion market for containerization technologies with tens of companies in it, including Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Docker grew only 33 times in revenue for 3 years, from 4 million in 2019 to 135 million in 2022. Automatic is the company behind the open source products WordPress and WooCommerce. Millions use WordPress to make their websites. WooCommerce is a widely used e-commerce plugin for WordPress. Their yearly revenue started at 0 in the year 2000, grew to 45 million in 2013, and was 171.5 million in 2023. To summarize the revenues from this presentation, we talk about products driving a yearly revenue of roughly $1 trillion. Economists are excited when they see a market for millions, and here we have a technology driving $1 trillion of revenue yearly. Here is how it works. Any open source project is a technology or a tool like a wrench. Having a wrench doesn't make you a mechanic. All the above businesses succeed by using those tools to create paid services and products necessary for people and companies. If many partners improve the same tool, all benefit from the improvements, resulting in improved services and products. Anyone can learn and create a free or paid product or service, as the tools are free. We also have more people who know how to use the given tool and provide feedback and improvements to the creators to improve the tool. Many of the tools would never exist if they were not FOSS. None of the companies above can create and improve the given FOSS tools by themselves, as most are big projects resulting from tens of thousands of developers and companies working on them for decades. With all these facts, you can probably see how Linux drives the forefront of technological advancements in tens of areas and why I'm such a crazy fan of it. It is the most secure, private and free technology, the best OS kernel, and provides tens of great free operating systems. If you liked that video, hit the like button, send it to friends, comment and follow. If you want to learn Linux, my book, the Manjaro Linux User Guide, starts from the basics, explains installation, and then covers all common topics a beginner may need. We have in it editions overview, help, online resources and officially supported software with all main categories: Office, imaging, audio, video, text editors, gaming and others. The second part ends with an excellent terminal primer, which will teach you easily and with examples how to work with all essential command line tools. The book then covers package management, dependencies, environment variables, file system basics, storage, mounting and encryption. Its following chapters detail the network and internet fundamentals, firewalls and VPNs, providing you with the best security on earth. For those who want advanced stuff, the last part explains services, processes, systemd, user management, cleanup, troubleshooting and scripting. The detailed table of contents and some free content are on a link in the description or comments to this video. If you know people who might like or benefit from this video, send it to them. And again, if you like what I do, help me by hitting the like button and commenting. Thank you very much for your attention and see you next time!